Good evening, everybody. My name is Bonnie Gardner. I am the campus director for Willis College Online. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome everyone here today. We're going to talk about daily life and a diploma and how it is absolutely possible to do. With me on the panel today, I have two students, currently students at Willis College Online. I have Francesca and I have Zachary. So Francesca and Zachary are both in our IT programs, and they're going to talk about a new piece that we've just added to online to try and help students meet the goals of success they've set for themselves. So I am going to bring up a little bit of a PowerPoint, but as you may have heard, Zachary is on his way to work and we do not want to make him late. So what I'm going to do is briefly talk about the one piece that I need you for, Zach, and then we can let you go on your way. So we have 4 new amazing options for students here at Willis College Online. And one of them is a peer tutoring program. So this program takes a student who's 8 to 9 months already completed in their program. They've completed a great deal of courses with really good marks, really good attendance, and in Zach's case, a really fabulous attitude. And we've enrolled them to be tutors for students in programs coming behind them that may be finding all but pieces of the program a little more challenging. And we want all students to be successful. So Zach, can you tell me about your role as a tutor? Tell me how you're coping with that. It's only a few weeks that we've had you in this role, but tell me a little bit about how you're feeling about being a tutor for other students.
For myself, it was a great opportunity to showcase what I have learned and how much I've put into this entire program, right?
Good. And is there certain pieces of the program that you're tutoring on? Are you comfortable tutoring almost anything that you've learned so far? What does that look like for you?
I'm comfortable tutoring any of the parts that I've learned so far. Mostly because I dive as deep into it as possible. And I know that whether, I fully understand it or not, it's best if I can teach it as well as read, hear, and write it. So if you can take it to the next level and say it, you're gonna solidify that knowledge much better.
Awesome. And then Francesca, thank you so much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. You are being tutored. So
Yes.
You're one of the students that we're helping right now. Tell me a little bit about what that's meant for you in the last couple of weeks, Francesca.
Well, see, to me, it was very helpful because Zach really knows what he's talking about. So you found me a good one. Thank you. So yeah, helping me go through the stuff. He's very patient. So he took his time, repeated things for me. Let me just sometimes just say, wait a second. I would repeat what he just said, make sure that I understood it. So I love his patience. I love how he's doing it. So he could be a teacher too. So he's that good. So yeah, it's very well. I really appreciate this program because I was at a point that I did not know what I was going to do next because due to unforeseen events, I had trouble. It was around the time that I was doing NATO, which became very hard for me. And I noticed that later on, it's something that's really important. Well, everything is important, but I needed to know that stuff again. So Bonnie came through. I told her what my problem was and then set me up with Zach. And now I'm starting to understand NATO. So
Excellent.
yeah, you found me the perfect person for this. So I appreciate it. Bonnie listened. She knew exactly what I needed and found the right one. So great.
So, Francesca, would it be fair to say that when you and I first chatted, you were sort of thinking that you wouldn't stay in the program and that success
I was ready to start from zero just because of this missing part. Because where we are now, it's been a few weeks since I did NATO, but where we are now, we're doing more virtualization, the packet tracer, and that was the stuff that I didn't understand so well. Now, Zach knows what he's doing, so I get it.
Okay,
So
good. So if I had to ask you to rate the fact that we've started the peer tutoring program on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you see that as for you, Francesca?
Well, see, you know, it happened so fast for me. The second I asked, it was coincidentally you guys created this program, and a few days later, you already gave me something. So I can't get nothing but a 10 because just the way it happened. It's just the biggest coincidence. I tell you about this 2 days later, you know, in Asil, he came and then told me about the peer tutoring. And then a few days later, hooked me up with Zach, and here we are.
Awesome. Good. And Zach, what about you? So you're a full-time student, you're working and just got promoted, which we're really proud of you for. Congratulations. And now you've taken on the role of tutor to some of our students. How are you juggling all this, and how is it making a difference for you?
Well, I can't say that I did it alone. I do have a lot of support. And anytime I've had to ask my other students, or if I've had to ask anyone from Willis College, I've always gotten a response. So I've never had an issue, you know, understanding myself by going through that peer zone, you know, and going through either going through the school to get something or going through the other students. So for myself, I already saw connection as really, really, really valuable. You know, we're learning networking with computers. So it makes sense to network with people at the same time.
So, and of course, being a tutor is going to be a fabulous addition to your resume as we move you into the career search area in the next few months. Zach, I know you have to get to work, so I wanted to say thank you very much for sharing your time with us tonight. It's been an amazing experience over the last 2 weeks to watch you as a tutor with Francesca and a couple of other students. And thank you so much. Francesca, it's fair to say that he's got you back on the path that you need to be on.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. I'm so glad. Thank you both for joining us. I'll let you get back to studying and working, and I'll continue with the presentation. Thank you, and please be safe.
Thank you, you guys. Take care.
Good night,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Good night.
And see you later, Francesca. Have a good day.
Talk to you later.
Bye, guys. All right, having met Francesca and Zachary, what we'll do now is go into a more formal part of the presentation. And I am going to do a little PowerPoint for you about daily life and what this looks like in, let me just get the slideshow loaded, at Willis College for you. So daily life and a diploma, totally possible, I promise. We've made some really amazing changes to make this happen for you. So attendance, huge issue. We have what we call instructor-led, instructor-paced classes. So what that means is you get 10 hours a week of live instructor-led lecture where you're present in class with your instructor. And then there's another 15 hours of instructor office hours where you can access your instructor on Zoom, by email, by text, by phone, to ask any questions that you may need anytime throughout the week. And all of those hours are posted in your classroom for you. One of the things we noticed, however, was that with our current attendance, there was a small gap for some students. So with more and more students wishing to come to online, we needed to make sure that we're offering flexibility for all students. Our current attendance does not allow students with permanent evening positions to attend school because our mandatory classes were evenings. Our mandatory classes were Monday and Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then there was 3 morning classes starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We've now changed this to make it even more flexible for you, the student. What have we done? So now you, the student, get to choose your own mandatory classes. We're not going to tell you which 2 we want you to attend. You get to pick your own 2. So the class times and days remain the same. Monday and Thursday, there's evening classes offered. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday are morning classes offered. You as a student can pick any combination of those 5 to have 2 mandatory classes. Maybe you want to do a Monday night and a Wednesday morning. Maybe you want to do a Thursday night and a Tuesday morning. All of those are now possible. The key here is that you get to pick your own 2 mandatory classes, and 3 of them still remain optional. If you're able to attend, you can. But if you can't, all 5 classes are recorded. loaded into your classroom, and you're able to see all of the live lectures every day. One of the other changes we've made is we've added 4 discussions a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there will be a short discussion question pertinent to the learning lecture of that day. What that means is you're going to log into your classroom, go to the discussion question, answer that question based perhaps on something that we're asking you to read that day, maybe on the PowerPoint presentation. The whole thing should take about 15 to 30 minutes. And those will be ways that we can make sure that you're coming into class and looking at your Zoom recording. One of the things we've done from the very beginning and is working extremely well for us is that Sunday is exam day. It's a set day. It will always be that day. Nothing will change. Sunday is exam day. You'll also have all your assignments due that day and any tasks due that day. So even if you're given an assignment on Monday, it will be due on Sunday. Sunday between 9 a.m. and 11 p.m., you have the option to submit all outstanding assignments, quizzes, tasks, and take an exam if there's an exam for your course. You'll be told on the Thursday night beforehand how many hours the exam will take, 1, 2, whatever. And then you'll know on Sunday to give yourself 2 hours to sit down, log in, and do your exam. All of those are due on Sundays. This means we have 5 attendance check-ins in a week. Your 2 mandatory classes, 2 of your discussions, and Sunday exam day. I do hope that all makes sense. I'm absolutely open to questions. If you would like to ask a question, please type it into the chat box or into the Q&A box at the bottom bar of your Zoom meeting. You'll find the chat box or the Q&A box, and I would be more than happy to answer any specific questions if you have any. The next big change we've made to Willis College Online is called a virtual toolkit. So this is really an amazing piece, and I'm excited to show it to you tonight. We recognize that returning to school can be very stressful, and we've created the virtual toolkit. Basically, this is a practice area. It's a place for you to get comfortable with all the different new things you will need to learn for school. You'll get access to this toolkit 10 days before school starts. You'll have a chance to practice things like basic computer skills, how to join Zoom meetings, where to find your class. We'll also show you how to submit discussions and assignments so that we can alleviate the anxiety on your first day of school. Who's up for a quick tour of the virtual toolkit? And I'm just going to quickly ask if you can still see my screen, because sometimes when we change screens, it doesn't show up. Can I have perhaps someone just type quickly in chat for me that you can indeed see my screen right now? The screen says online toolkit on the front. Thank you, Joshua. That's awesome. All right, so online toolkit, where we are right now is your classroom setting. This is called Moodle, and we are on in the class that is labeled online toolkit. You'll see 5 different things in the online toolkit, and all of these are available to you 10 days before school starts to let you practice and feel really good about day 1. So let's open the first one. The first one is your student portal. All students with Willis College will have access to their student portal with their Willis College email. You'll be given that at orientation. Using that, you're able to access the student portal, which is where you will find your classroom. Everything is embedded in one place, so it's really, really easy to find and really easy to navigate. You'll also find in here instructions for installing Office 365. All students of Willis College Online are eligible to receive Office 365, as you will need it in school for things like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. You'll also find instructions for accessing your bookshelf. One of the really cool things we do in the online setting is we deliver e-textbooks to you on the Monday that your course starts. So sometimes in your programs, and I'm going to use the addictions program as an example, the course can be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. You will do one course at a time, concentrate on that course, become really, really, really good at that course, do the exam, and then move to the next course. Most of these courses will require you to have a textbook. The textbook is delivered to you by us as an e-textbook, and in your student portal are instructions for navigating and downloading that textbook so that you have access to it. We also have a really cool video on how to use the student portal. This is the first thing you'll see in the tool. The second thing in the toolkit, my favorite area, the Moodle training. So Moodle, as I mentioned earlier, is where your classroom is located. And if you can see my screen right now, you will see that it's laid out. It says Moodle Basics, how to take an exam. There's a little check mark that says an activity. There's a discussion post. This looks like your classroom. If you can navigate this, you can navigate class. All you do is click on the item and it will open up everything that you need to have. So for here, you can see this is your online classroom. You're going to be logging in. We're going to talk about some features, and you click on this to move forward. And that's how you navigate your Moodle. You're also able to download items in here, and you're able to do assignments from here. Getting a message that you can't see it, so let me try again. Hopefully we're good now. Sometimes changing screens can be iffy inside the webinar. So now hopefully you can see online toolkit with Moodle training. So again, Moodle is your classroom. We've got some practice activities in here for you and some practice discussions so that you can learn where the submit button is. How do you do a discussion? What does a discussion look like? All of those things are in here. So you'll see that to complete the discussion, you have to give us 100 to 150 words. And for your practice, we ask you to tell you about why you picked Willis College. We're going to ask you to complete an assessment. Again, this is really good practice for coming to school on your first day. If you can know how to navigate these basic things on day one, you're going to be able to navigate absolutely everything when you come to school. The other really cool thing about the virtual toolkit is that the staff at Willis Online will do a check-in with you. So you'll get the toolkit 10 days before. About 5 days later, you're going to get an email or a text message from our student services coordinators, and they're going to ask to see how you're doing and what's going on, and if you're having any problems, or if there's one specific area that you've really struggled with, and then they can help you. Again, we want you to be successful. We're building on your success, and we're trying to make sure that you get your end goal. The next piece, and I'm just going to stop share again, and I do see a bunch of things in chat. Looks like it's being looked after, so that's excellent. So we'll share again, and we'll go to computer basics. So one of the things we recognized at Willis College Online was sometimes we haven't all been able to practice our computer skills. I, for one, openly admit I'm not very good with Excel. I have the basics, but I'm not an expert at it by any means. I can do Word, I can sort of do PowerPoint, but I'm not that great at Excel. But we get that, we understand. And so what we've done in the virtual toolkit is we've added a digital literacy course. So what this is this is a free piece where you can log in just by hitting this line. You log in and you can take a whole bunch of really short, easy computer courses. Things as simple as this is a mouse, this is how you open a file, all the way up to a little bit more complicated Excel type things. You can do them at your own pace, in your own time, all free of charge and all inbuilt into the virtual toolkit. So you think you might want to practice this a little before your class starts? This is the perfect place to do it. It's all here and it's all ready for you. The digital literacy, we've got things like hardware basics, software basics, using a computer, using the internet, some safety. We've got some basic computer skills. We've got typing. I, for one, could use a whole bunch of work in my typing area. And then we've also got some internet basics about your web browsers. It's going to be important that you understand which web browser you can use, which ones don't work, all of those beautiful things as we navigate through your classes. So it's all in here. It's all in your virtual toolkit for you. The fourth area that we have in your virtual toolkit is your Zoom meeting applications. And this will talk you through how to join class when your first class starts on the Monday that you join school. So it's going to show you where to find the join button. Super simple, how to find your classroom. Once you hit join, you're in class. We can see you nice and live. And there you are in class on your first day. And then we have some additional resources that you might find really helpful as a new student to Willis College. This is the fabulous world of our virtual toolkit. We're super excited to have this available to all of our new students. We don't take access for this away from you. So even once you've started school, you would still be able to use the virtual toolkit. We're super excited by it. Let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation and talk a little bit about the peer support and the peer tutoring. So you heard from Zach and Francesca earlier that the peer tutoring program, it's very new. We've only started it a few weeks ago, but already we are seeing some really fabulous uptake on this program. So what we've done is we've taken students who are more than halfway through their program, shown us that they've got really great marks, really great attitude, and that they're willing to do the work to help another student. I believe that sometimes as instructors, we don't always see that there's alternate ways to deliver information. I can tell you that the anatomy of the body means the ulna is connected to the elbow, and I'm going to just keep telling you that until you understand it. But maybe a student can tell you that in a different way and help you understand it better. So we started the peer tutoring program. It has been incredibly successful. Currently, we have 8 students in the peer tutoring program. We're only doing it with one program right now, but we will be rolling it out into all programs. 2 of those students, as you heard from Francesca, were really considering no longer staying in the program because they felt that they were either too far behind or that the material just wasn't making sense for them. And so we set them up with a tutor. They don't pay for the tutor. The tutoring is free. We pay the tutors to ensure that their time is as valuable as it should be, but the student does not pay for that service. That is a service we want to provide to ensure that you are given the very best tools to be successful in school. The other big piece that we're going to be starting on January 31st that we are super excited about is the peer support mentoring program. So this program will pair up students from healthcare with other students in healthcare. So if you're coming in as a new student into addictions on your first day on Monday, really nervous, overwhelming, you haven't been here for a really, really long time, what's going to happen is you're going to be paired up with a student who's already been here for a little while. They've already been 3 months into the program. They've learned all the hard stuff. They've figured out Moodle. They've figured out the hours, some time management skills. And they're going to be paired with you from the weekend before you start school and all the way through for the first 2 weeks. And later on, if you need them, they'll be there for you too. What they're going to do is help you navigate those first few days. They're going to make sure you get into class on the first night, that you know how to hit that join button. They're going to meet with you after class and see what your biggest struggles were and see if we can help you. This is not because we don't have staff to support you. This is because students helping students is much more empowering than me coming to tell you that you missed class because you didn't hit the join button. Another student is able to provide you with so much more guidance. We're very excited about this program. We have 45 volunteers for Monday night to help our new students. We're really excited to launch this and learn about how we can help more students be successful in the online world of Willis College. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some questions. I'm sure that you have questions. Please type them into the chat box or the Q&A, and I will be more than happy to answer any. Joshua, I see that you did ask a question about, I think, the tutoring and whether it was free. So yes, the tutoring for you as a student is free, and the students that are providing the tutoring are being paid by us at Willis College to ensure that we understand that their time is valuable, and it's a great resume builder for them to be able to say that they have the skills to teach another person what they've been learning. So we're really, really excited about that. Any other questions? I see something in Q&A. Is it free? Cecilia, I'm not sure what you might be referring to. I'm guessing the tutoring, in which case the answer is yes, absolutely. The tutoring is free. It's other students helping you to make sure that we can find you to success. Alam, would I get credit courses that I took in university? Yes, we would ask you to please provide your transcript to your advisor. Their advisor will then give your transcript to me, and I will look to see what courses you took and if we have any available credits we can provide you. That is a fabulous question. Thank you very much. I'm surprised we're not getting more about attendance. It's a really fabulous new venture to allow a student to pick the days they get to come to school. We're really excited about this. Please remember that your lectures are 2 hours a day. There's 5 lectures a week, and all of your lectures are recorded and uploaded into your classroom for you so that you can see them. Can you take the courses part-time? So Ileana, it is a full-time course. So it's 10 hours of lecture plus 10 hours of work, 20 hours a week. A lot of our students do work full-time and still manage to take this course or these courses. Your courses are anywhere from 6 months to 18 months for our IT course. So it really depends on the course that you're taking. I'm sure we'd be able to work out a schedule that worked for you. Joshua, how many days do you choose? You have to choose 2 mandatory days, and it can be any of the 5 days. So Monday evening, class starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tuesday, class starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday, class starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thursday, there's another evening class at 8 p.m. And Friday, there's a morning class at 10 a.m. So you must go to 2. So for Alam, if you can only come in the evenings, then you would be able to come to Monday and Thursday. And then your Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday are all recorded, and you'd still be able to see all of the classes, all of the questions the student asked, all of the assignments, and you would also be able to access office hours. Joshua, are the classes recorded? Yes, they are. All 10 hours of lecture are recorded every day to ensure that we are able to provide you with everything that you need. Oh, the class timing slide again. I could. You're asking me for some skills here. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. So Monday, Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. These are all in Eastern Time. So this is Ontario. And then 2 discussions a week and there's 4 discussions provided. And then all of your exams are on Sundays. So midterms or finals are on Sundays, and all assignments must be handed in by Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, you're welcome, Matthew. That's my job. Anything that you need. Okay, we have some raised hands. Oh, I don't know what that means. If you have a question, you could type it into chat for me or into Q&A. That would be amazing. Thank you. The peer support program. Peer support is defined as 2 individuals sharing a common experience. A student who's been in the program and is working their way through it already, who's gone through the first week, has navigated all of the different pieces that the first week entails, and a new student coming in on the first day, perfect pairing to share a common experience and reach a common goal. When does the Addiction Worker Program start? Joshua, we have a start on Monday if you're keen. Love to see you. Otherwise, it doesn't start again until March the 21st. So January 31st or March 21st. Jordan, thank you for answering. It's IT that starts on March 7th. The ACSW and other programs all start on March 21st. Thank you. Do we do OSAP? Yes, we do. We have a fabulous team of finance people who are here to help you with all of those things. That's what we do. Ghislaine, the slide says 5 attendance a week. If I only log in the evenings, yeah, so you do 2 mandatory days, 2 discussions, and Sunday is exam day. That's your 5 attendance. 2 mandatory days. Sunday is always going to be an exam day. That counts as attendance. And then 2 of the 4 discussions. That's your other 2 attendance. That gives you 5, Ghislaine. Okay. When does the HR courses start? That's also going to be the same dates, Alam. So the HR courses are January 31st, which is Monday, or March 21st. So 7 weeks. So we try to make all of the starts come at the same time. It's just a little bit easier for everybody because you all start in the same computer courses. So we can make sure you have some really fabulous computer skills before you get into what we call the core classes. And the core classes are where you get into really learning about the program that you picked. So for instance, addictions is where you'll get into things like counseling techniques and mental health and psychopharmacology and really cool stuff, and HR, human resource management, marketing, some of those types of things. How long is the HR course? That's a fabulous question. And when does the business administration course start? Wow, they're coming in fast and furious. All right, so business admin starts also January 31st or March 21st, and the HR program is 39 weeks. And I may have to defer to one of my guests to help me with that one because the number actually went out of my head. I think it's 39 weeks. It's eight months. Bonnie, I missed what you said about submitting university transcripts. Are you saying we can submit them for credit transfer? Yes, Matthew, if you can submit them to your advisor, I'm able to take a look at those transfers and we try to give you what we call prior learning credit. Not all courses are correlated, but we do our best. I'd be more than happy to look at your transcript. Please provide it to the advisor. If you don't have an advisor yet, we'll be able to get you one, or you can use my email directly. It's awesome that you asked the question. I see a question and I just missed it. HR program is 39 weeks for the 4-week placement. Thank you, Jordan. Just my brain went a little bit soft there for a minute. These are all really, really great questions. I'm super excited to have this all going on right now. I wanted to talk a little bit about the structure inside online. So what we do is we do have myself as the campus director, we have a dean of education, and then we also have student service coordinators. So we have a student service coordinator for healthcare programs and a student service coordinator for business and IT. And they're your #1 person to go to for things like books, classroom issues, attendance, assignments, all of those things. They're going to be the people to really, really help you. Okay, and you'll get introduced to them at orientation, and they'll also be following up on the virtual toolkit. So Matthew, it really depends on the classes. Usually with prior learning, we don't give a class exemption, we just give a financial benefit to having already done the class. Depends how old your class is. Ontario Student Loan does not like gaps in the schedule. So it's really hard to have an exemption from class, and it's always good to redo some skills, but definitely something we can talk about once I see your transcript. What is the discussion classes all about? So Diana and Sam, the discussion classes really are just an opportunity for us to make sure that you log into your classroom, at least 2 more times in the week, are able to view your PowerPoints, perhaps do a reading that might be in your classroom as a requirement, and that you're able to answer a question. So let's say you were learning psychopharmacology this week in addictions. Maybe the discussion question would ask something about a specific drug the teacher had taught on that day, or a healthcare concern that had been taught that day. And it would just be a single question, and then you would reply to that question in a discussion post. And you would see other students replying and other students perhaps asking more questions about it, so that we can really generate some conversation and ensure that everyone's staying really engaged. Most of the discussion questions take about 15 to 30 minutes to take care of, and they are open for 18 hours from the end of class until the start of class the following day. Can one switch between day and evening classes? One week evening, then the next week days? Crystal, we're not quite that flexible. It does make it just a little bit more difficult for the instructors. My preference is a few months of days and a few months of evenings if things change. If it's a constant need to change back and forward, it might be something we need to look at on an individual basis, but I'd be more than happy to have a conversation about how we could make that work. I'm always open to how we can solve a problem. I don't want any student not to be able to come to school because we can't solve a problem. So please know that it's not a no, it's just a little bit more difficult. We prefer that they're set week to week. You can imagine with 30 students per class, it does make it a little bit more difficult if we don't know what days you're coming, but there's always solutions. So you and I can definitely talk, Crystal. The really cool thing I did want to talk about is that there is a maximum 30 students per class. So there's lots of room for you to be able to access your instructor during those office hours and ask lots of questions. Ahmed, I know you have a fabulous IT lab. We do. If all classes are online, how are we taking advantage? Oh, Ahmed, you've no idea how fabulous we have it in the online world. We do online labs. You are provided with all of the labs on a USB key, and we do the labs every day in class, just like if you were in the classroom in person. And sometimes I actually think it's a little better because you get to play with it more. So no worries. We absolutely have all the labs you need for your cybersecurity program. Be happy to show you how all that works anytime. Diana and Sam, how long is the cybersecurity course? So cybersecurity operator or cybersecurity analyst, they are two slightly different programs. The operator is 48 weeks and the analyst is 64 weeks. Both really fabulous programs, lots of hands-on, lots of lab time, just like Ahmed mentioned. Anything else that I can answer? Oh, there's another one here. Is the program of Medical Office Assistant Administrator supported by OSAP? It absolutely is, Naveen. All of our programs are supported by OSAP at this time, and in all of the other provinces, we also have student loan in Alberta, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, BC, Saskatchewan. So we've been very lucky in that across the country, we are now being recognized as Willis College Online, the place for your online diploma. Is it always one course at a time, Chad? Yes, it is. We believe we want you to be very good at the one piece and then move on to the next piece. The only exception to that is in our pharmacy program. And in our pharmacy program, we do teach in what we call a linear manner. And that's because a lot of the pieces really are so intertwined that it would be very repetitive if we didn't teach them sort of at the same time. But for the rest of the courses, all of our IT courses, our addictions, our medical office, and all of our business courses, those are all taught one course at a time. Would I be able to take it if I'm out of the country? Wow, that's a really great question. So it really depends on how long you're out of the country for, and if you've used OSAP and all of those other things. You still have to log into class twice a week. We do have a student who had an emergency and had to leave to go home for 8 weeks. During that 8 weeks, although there was a massive time zone difference, he did log into class every day, and he did keep up with all of his work and still submit his exams on Sundays. And once he returns to Canada next week, he'll be back in class and continuing on with his programs. So those are all very possible things, Alam. Virginia, do we have to pay all tuition costs up front? No, absolutely not. We do payment plans, Virginia. Again, we do have a really fabulously talented finance team who'll come up with a payment plan for you if you're not using OSAP, where you can pay in installments during the months of your program. And we can even extend a little bit past your end date if we need to. So we do have a great team who can have that conversation with you, Virginia, anytime you're ready. Anything else I can help with? These are such great questions. Loving how engaged you all are. Do you help find jobs? Absolutely we do, Joshua. It is really important to us that our students are employed at the end of their diploma. There's no point getting one if you can't use it to work. And how are you going to pay back your student loan? We have a fabulous career services team. They'll work with you for your practicum, and then they'll also work with you for your job seeking afterwards. We also have a week-long career management course that we ask all students to take. And this is for updating your resume, getting interview skills, learning how to do a virtual interview as well as a face-to-face interview, because we are in very changing times these days. We'll also talk about things like networking, the value of ensuring that you keep your resume up to date. And one of the really cool things about our career services team is that even if you leave school, you do your practicum and you get hired, and then 3 years from now, you want to change positions, or maybe you want to see what else is going on in the employment world, you can come back to us as an alumni. We have a lifelong career services commitment to you to help you with things like updating your resume, redoing interview skills, and helping you seek other positions. So it is a lifelong career management. Virginia, for the medical office admin program, can it be a paid opportunity or is it required to be a volunteer internship? So Virginia, that's really up to the host. Practicums are not expected to be paid. However, some hosts will pay. And some people will use the job they currently do and just move into a different department so that they don't lose their job, and they'll use that as a practicum placement. So those are all possibilities. And the career services team are there to help you navigate all of those different options. There's a whole team of them that are going to help with the practicum placement, the employment, and making sure that you have an outstanding resume when your diploma is completed. Joshua, wow, yes, you're right. It is a really fabulous offer that we have for everybody. Diana and Sam, do Willis College provide job placements upon completion? So we do practicum placements, Diane. So what that means is if your program has a practicum anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, we will ensure that all students have a practicum placement in place as you move into that part of your program. Practicum is part of the program and it is part of getting your diploma. Upon completion of your practicum, the career services team are there to help you find employment. We do have lots of students who get hired on practicum, but if you don't, practicum is a great resume builder. It's also a great reference for finding employment later. And then our team swoops in and helps with the employment search and getting you up and ready for all the interviews and all the fun things that lie ahead. Having you employed is really, really important to us. Okay. These are really awesome questions. I'm super excited. Is there anything else? We've gone about 45 minutes. So I'll probably go for about another 5 before we close her down for tonight. This has been a really amazing webinar, and I'm super excited that you were all here tonight and learned about the really great new things that Willis Online is able to offer our students so that we can help you aim for success. We have the virtual toolkit, we have the new flexible attendance, we have the really exciting tutoring program and the mentoring support program. And I, for one, feel like what lies ahead for Willis College Online is going to be incredible, and I would love you to join me on the journey. If there's no last questions, I will say good night, be safe, and I hope to see you all at Willis College Online very, very soon. Take care, everybody.